Okay, so let's start first the scoop import, right? Import we have done. Okay, so I'll show first the export, okay, because we have one use case that is left. Okay, so for scoop export, we should have some data in Hadoop file system. So we are going to do export. So how to do export? We have some data. So it could be a Hive file you have, or you can have the data you have created manually some file in the Hadoop file system. So you should have the table in MySQL. You have to create a table with the same schema, and you will use the scoop export command to get the data from Hadoop file system to the MySQL table. Okay. So basically, even your table is in Hive also, right? But your file is in Hadoop file system. So we are exporting data from Hadoop file system file. If you see this command, scoop export, connect, and I'm giving my URL of my MySQL database URL and table, which table I want to write the data. Okay, and username, password, and this is the export dir. So this export dir is the directory where is my table. Actually, this is the table name. So here the table will come. So which table you want to export the data. So you will be writing the data from the table. Okay. So here I'm specifying the table from which table. So either you can say you have some file which is pointing out to this directory and which is Hive table. Okay. Or you can directly give any Hadoop file system file. Okay. So ultimately, I am exporting the data from the file to the MySQL table. Okay. So even your Hive is having the data. So you can say your Hive data is exported. But ultimately, this is not the Hive data is going. Your Hadoop file system file is going to the MySQL table. Okay. So when I want to check the export, so I have to see the my MySQL table data, whether I have exported or not. Okay. So let's do one thing. I create non-partition table, right? So this is my non-partition table. And first I do import and then I will create a export. Okay. So we can create a new table. Okay. But my table location will be my Hadoop file system location. So I will not use this target dir location because this target dir location, my data will not be there. So when I export dir, I will do the location of my Hive table. So here my Hive table will come, this one. Okay. And this table you have, otherwise you can create a new table, okay, with the same name. So we'll create a one new table here. So first we do import and then we will do the export. Okay, same data we will do the export in different table. Okay. Is it clear this one? What is the plan, right? Basically, first I'm going to do import to show the data. Okay, and same Hadoop file system data I will load into the MySQL table. Okay. I have to start the meta service. Okay. Meta restore. Okay, my service started. Now I'm running my import. Okay, this is already we done. I'm repeating again. Okay, the same thing yesterday we done. Okay, Okay, so my import is done. So where I will get the data? In warehouse directory. Okay. So I will verify the file on the warehouse directory. This will be the directory where my file is loaded from the MySQL. So we have imported data into Hive table, and the HDFS location for this Hive table is DB folder. In the DB dot, and we have a table folder, right? Yeah, what is taking time? So this data is imported. Okay. So we are able to see these files are there. Okay. Now I will be doing the export from this Hadoop file system directory. Okay. So now I'm going to export. So my export command is ready. So this is my export command. Here is the export command is this. So this export command, I'm giving a new table. So this table I should create it first in the MySQL because I have to export the data. So I'm going to create a new table. So I'm just changing here the table name. This is okay. So this is the new table, and I'm checking the data in this table. So there is no data. Okay, the table is empty. Okay, now I'm going to run my export command. So export command, we have to remember that export directory location should be correct, and the table, which table you are going to write back the data. Okay, so now I'm going to run export command. Okay, so when I saw that like this is exported for record, So when exported for record, so I can verify in my MySQL table whether my data is imported or not. So can I see that data is coming, right? So I have exported data from Hadoop file system to my MySQL table. Okay. Now another one more use case I can do. I have a scenario. You remember, right? One scenario we did in the from the MySQL. Suppose I do some changes in my table, right? We have done the incremental way we did, right? So here is the option because here is no partition things is there, right? In the MySQL table. So if I do any change in my Hadoop file system file, I want my data should be updated or inserted back to my table. Okay. So there is an attribute. There are the two attributes are there. So one attribute is update key. So update key you have to tell on which key column you want to update. Okay. So here in my scenario, ID is a column. So ID column, I want to update my record in my MySQL table. Okay. So I say I want to use update key. And another one is update mode allow insert. So update mode allow insert means suppose you have created some added some new data. Okay. So update key is just only updating the existing record. Okay. But not allowing the new insert. But still you want to do allow insert. So you can add these two in your, so you can add here. Mhm. Okay. So here the update key, I will say ID because I want to say something based on the ID, it will allow update, and update mode is a allow insert. Okay. Some new record. So we can do some modification in this file. So my file is in this location. So, so how to update the file? First of all, I have to take it some file to bring it to my local file system, and then I can do insert. Okay. So then I can do the insert and I can do update also. Okay. So Hadoop fs minus get command, that for getting the file in my local file system. Okay. Dot for current directory. So this way we can get the file in my local file system. So if you see part M003, where it is, this one. Okay. Now I will modify this file. Vi part M 003. So I modify the one record and add the new record. Okay. So this ID 4, I send some data. I change some data. So I'm just changing the data here. Okay. Okay. I'm changing and changing. New record I'm adding. New record. Some name I'm giving. Okay. So I updated this file. So how to copy the file? How to write the file? Can anyone tell the command?
Yes, yes, yes. Yeah. Hello. Yeah.
-put.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, can anyone tell the command? What command we will use to
Yeah,
write the file? Hmm?
-put
So Hadoop FS,
and
my local file, Hadoop FS minus port part-time
yeah,
003.
source and then the destination.
So I have to write it with the same name. So I don't need to change the name. Okay. Is it fine or it will give the error to me?
It will give the error that the file is already existing. So we have to use a hyphen
Hyphen?
F. F
Yeah.
for P. Yeah, F.
Okay, forcefully. Okay, so we have updated. So if I want to modify the Hadoop FS cat, so I can. So if I do this, so I will see one record is updated and one is inserted. Okay. We are doing less data, but in the real time, it could be more data. So we have already prepared the command, okay, update key ID and update mode allow insert. Okay. So we are going to run, but this time we don't need to create table because this mode, right, this update key mode, it will check, right, if the table should be present, already present. Okay. Because in this case, we don't need to create a new table because we are going to update. Okay. So this time, how many record exported? 5. Because data is completely need to be updated, right? So it is no matter, right, it is going to change one record because it is assuming it like your file is completely new and it is exporting the entire data. Okay. So if we check here in the MySQL, oh, it has allow insert has created the new record. This one, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Okay, allow insert. Update key. Update key ID. There is some combination of this where so here mod. So we can use update mode, allow insert option to update the existing record if they exist, or insert new row if they don't exist in the target relation table. Okay. And update key. We can use this export mode by providing update key command line argument. This command parameter are same, username, password, export dir, table, update key. Okay. So every time it is creating all 5 new records.
Arvind, I can see in the Google as well that this will create duplicates, the update ID and update mode.
Yeah, it is again 5 again created one more time. So
Yeah.
what's the solution? If
Mm,
duplicate means like then we have
I
to
don't know. They are asking to try making ID the primary key.
Yeah, that's the problem. Yeah.
If I make it ID primary key, so it will not allow, right? It will do only update. Okay. Because in my case, my table has no primary key. So if I keep it my this table, okay. So if I create a primary key, then it will automatically do update only. Okay, this is a new table. And but first time it will load all the data because this is I'm making it 4. So
Can you open this page and see? I sent in the chat.
yeah. Update key. So
So first here I see first we have update mode and then update key ID. Does it matter the order?
update only. What is this? Update only.
Mm.
For update and for upsert. Upsert means like update or insert both together. So then allow insert. Okay, so that is the update mode. Update key is ID. Order is not problem. Okay, they did first this one. That you mean to say.
Yeah.
Just try update key, primary key. So okay, but our case now primary key is not there. Okay, let's try first this. We have first this import is done. I have already created primary key. So if the primary key I'm making it, then I think order is not a problem. Because if primary key is there, it will not allow duplicate. It will automatically do update only. If new is there, that is fine because primary key is not a problem. But if existing record is trying to, because there is no first, what is doing? It is trying to create a new record as a existing record also. Because the primary key restriction is not there. If primary key restriction there, so new record will not see both the things happening. So if the new record, if the existing record is trying to insert, it will not insert, right? Because primary key restriction will be there. So this is the first time all the 5 record is right. So now if I modify the file, okay, so I'm just doing again my same thing, but the table name I will change here. So my table name is created 1 to 3. This is the 1 to 4, 1 to 4 table I created with primary key. So I will change here. I think last also 1 to 4 only I did. Okay. So I simply run this again. So meanwhile, we check the data because the first one is we have not checked. So total 5. So here, see, right now this is the existing one, the first time one, right? With the 5 record with the existing one. And once this job is completed, then we will verify it. We are getting 6 records and we modified one record is updated. Okay. Now total exporting 6. So it is showing exporting 6. So whether it's updating or not. Okay. So we have to verify that. Now it's fine. So only one record came. The new record is 1 and existing record is updated. So it's working now. If you see the 4th one is updated, right? And the 6th one is a new. So now it's not a problem. So only change we have to do, we have to make it our this table should be primary key should be there. Okay, if you don't have primary key, it will allow to insert even existing record also it will insert. Okay, so now we go to the hbase. Okay. So I have already told the steps of the hbase. Okay. So how to start the hbase? You have to go to the root folder. So cd usr local. Simple bin. So once we start the service, now we exit from the root, then we start the hbase shell. So hbase we started yesterday, right? So it's a NoSQL DB, and hbase is a column family database. So we can store group of columns together as a column family. Okay, so let's just understand first the architecture. What is the hbase architecture? Then it will be easy to understand the hbase command. Okay. So we can follow here hbase tutorial point. So this hbase tutorial point you go, and here all the commands will do practice. So all the command like creating table, listing table. So we will be running the hbase shell, all the shell command, interactive shell. Okay. So we'll be doing the practice of the hbase. So hbase is a NoSQL database. So even we can write the data from other like tools, right? We can use a sqoop to write the data, import the data into hbase, or we can use the spark to write the data into hbase. Okay. But first we are trying the manually the commands on the hbase shell. Okay. So when we are going to start the hbase, we need to understand like hbase architecture. So hbase is like having a different components are there in the hbase. So hbase has the master server. So master server is like master is which is coordinating the region servers, and the region servers have region. The different regions are there in the region server. Okay. And the data is replicated. Data is replicated into the multiple regions in region server. So whenever any client is requesting the data read or write from the hbase table, so it is coming to the zookeeper first. And zookeeper is finding the high availability between the master and region server. So sometimes the cases are there, right? Region server is down. So zookeeper will find the another region server and give it to the master. Okay. So here the master server, which is accepting the request and giving, finding out the appropriate region where it can get the data. Okay. And region server has again memory storage area that is called memstore, and storage area one is a H file. H file is a disk copy, and memory storage is the memory copy. So initially the data comes to the memstore, and there is a one write head log is there. Here it is not mentioned. So one write head log is there. Write head log is a buffer. It's a temporary buffer area. Okay. So what is the wall? The wall is write head log. Write head log in hbase. So write head log is basically the interface API for wall, and it is for temporary storage area. It's a buffer area, and first the data will be written to the, like if I say go to the H file directly, instead of that it will be going to the memory area. Okay, from write head log it will be written to the memory storage area, and when memory storage area is full, then the data will be flushed to the H file. So that is the final storage of your data. Okay. So whenever you are writing the data, the process will be happen like this. Okay. And when you are reading the data, so again, the data will be coming in the same process, right? So H file, the data will be loaded into the memory storage, and memory storage to the wall, and wall to the given to the client. Okay. Who is requesting the data. So these are the component. Okay, if we see the more bigger architecture diagram, okay, hbase architecture. So you can understand more clear, right? hbase architecture, like what exactly the hbase. You can see this. So hbase is also providing the thrift server, right? Like a communication to the some cross platform and cross language. So we have the thrift server also. Like, thrift server is there in the Hive also, the Hive server too. The same like hbase also having the thrift server. Okay. But Hive, whenever you are writing using the programmatic way, also you can do some Java programming API. Also, we can use Java API. So Java API or some other Python API, you can write the data into HBase. Or the other way is you can write the data or read the data through Thrift server. And other way is using the command line, using the shell. So these are the three different ways you can read and write the data from the HBase. Okay. So mostly for testing purpose, we use the command line, but for the real development, we do the API, or like we can connect to the thrift server, then we can read and write the data. Okay. So
What is thrift server?
thrift server is a protocol using it is thrift protocol. It's a common protocol. And if I say, like, whenever I have some cross platform, right? If I have my HBase running in Unix or Ubuntu, right? This is a Linux, right? Ubuntu. And I have some application, some Java application, I say, or I say some application running in Windows, which is writing data to the HBase in the Ubuntu. Okay. So how this communication will happen? So there is a thrift server is there. So every, like, if I say Hive is having its own thrift server, so that is called HBase thrift server. So thrift server is basically using the thrift protocol, thrift server. So thrift protocol is a common like protocol. It's like a protocol for the communication of cross platform and cross language. Okay. So thrift protocol is a common protocol, and that will be implemented by any particular tool, right? Spark is implementing also thrift. Okay. So it is giving also thrift server. In the HBase also giving thrift server. Okay. Hive is also giving the thrift server. So ultimate purpose of the thrift server is, like, if I have one way is REST API is there. Okay. Another way is there read and write data. I have a command line. And the another way I have a Java programming API is there. I can make a Java application and then I can connect to my HBase. Okay. Another way, like thrift server is there. So thrift server is a cross platform. Like Tableau also I can connect to the thrift server with Hive, or we can connect with the HBase. Okay. So this thrift server protocol is basically used to communicate a cross platform and cross language, right? If two different operating system cannot communicate each other, so they can communicate through the thrift server. Okay. So thrift protocol it's using internally.
Got it.
Thrift protocol. Okay, so you can more about if you want to read about this thrift one. So when you just do HBase thrift, okay, so you can see the HBase, you can get the more documentation things, right? How the thrift works actually. So thrift is a software framework, cross-language services, right? It allows you to define data type service interface, right? So it is internally using some protocol. So any type of language we can communicate with the thrift, right? These many languages are there, like they can communicate, okay? And different operating systems also can communicate, right? Not only Windows to Ubuntu, any operating system. So this kind of implementation, we have to configure it, right? Our HBase is giving us support of thrift. So it has to, by default is 9083 port is there. Okay. Like we use in Hive 9083. Okay. So HBase host, you will say like local host, and you will say your thrift port is a 9083 port. So you have to do this configuration. You remember, right? HBase site.xml. So this is on demand thing. This is not given by default in the Hive site, hbase site.xml. So if you want to start, like you have to start the thrift service also. So you can like hbase shell, and then this is a table and column family I'm creating. Okay. But if you want to start it, you have to configure first thrift in your hbase site. Okay. So by default, it will not be enabled in hbase site.xml. You have to activate that port. 19083 port is there. You have to activate that, right? Okay. I want to use my this 9083 default port of thrift for my hbase configuration, right? So hbase will not come to know about thrift automatically. You have to configure. See Spark, then you can communicate using thrift. You can communicate with the hbase. Okay. So that's also you can see in the hbase documentation also. If you see hbase documentation, this one, this is the API. hbase thrift server. Thrift jar also we need it. Okay. So some configuration is needed. Okay. Without that configuration, we cannot do. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll come to this. First, we learn basics, right? Okay, the creating tables and this command. So those are the things you can do. Okay, so installation we have done, and we can start the shell. Okay, so we have already started the shell, and these are the different commands. So data definition language, right? You know, in the SQL also data definition, data manipulation, data some permission commands, also data control language we call it. Okay, so here also similar way the commands are there. So when data definition means create a table, list a table, disable a table, you cannot drop the table directly. Like in Hive, you can just do drop table name, you can drop it. But here is a security. You have to disable the table first, and then you can drop the table. So disable command will disable your table, then you drop table will drop the table. Okay. So like drop table name. Okay, drop and then table name you can give. So first we start with the, like if I want to see like version of this, and who am I, who is the user of the hbase. So these all command we can run. These are the general command. Okay. But after that, like suppose I want to create a table. Okay, the first thing comes here, how to create a hbase table. So when I want to create a hbase table, so hbase table is a data modeling. Data modeling is how we can create a table schema, and how we create a row or like a column families. Okay, so simply create table. Like we can create a table. This create table name is there, create emp, and these are the two column family. So column family is set of columns together. You can keep it in one column family. So personal data, I can keep it all the columns which is related to personal data, right? I know, right? Some of the columns which is having a personal information, I will keep it in the personal data column family. Professional data like my age, my salary is there, my attendance is there. All this information can be keep it in the professional column family. Okay. So first we create a just table. Okay. We create a table. So if I just do list command, it will be showing me the list of table. What happened? It is saying some zookeeper connection problem. Yeah, it is not able to connect. So we start and stop the hbase shell again, the service start hbase. So we go to the root. So local. First we stop it because we already started. No hbase master found. This is not running. Yeah, why it is taking time to start.
So Arvind, can we check the ID and kill it here?
Which ID?
Run top
Uh,
command.
Which ID?
Process
the
ID.
the process ID PS-EF.
Yeah, but it is automatically stopped. Okay. Because we already started. Okay, we'll come to know whether it's working fine or not. So I restarted. Stop. Some so let's okay, so table names are coming. So here is already EMP table is not there. So I'm going to create the table. Okay, to create EMP, just make sure like you are writing in the single code. Okay. So here is we'll have to. So first initially it is creating a one empty table with two column family. One is a personal data, one is a professional data. So this table is creating. Okay, this is creating the table. Yeah, this all info is coming. Actually, we have to suppress, right? It should not come again so many times. What is happening? These are the unnecessary info statements are coming. Maybe Zookeeper connection is getting close. Again, it's close. Okay, so table is created. If I do list, So I'm able to see my EMP table is created. Okay, so table is created. Now I want to write the data into table. Okay, so some create data I will do. So in the column family, this is like a put command or add command, right? We can write the data. So if you see this structure, right? So every row is identified by row ID, row key. So row key is uniquely identify the row, and personal data has 2 columns and professional data has 2 columns. So I'm going to write the put command to write the data, okay, in my table. And first I'm giving row ID, then I'm giving the column family and column name and column value. Okay, so like this I'm going to write this data. So this is the one put command. This is second put command. This is but I have to make it a single line. It will give the error otherwise. The last. So once the data is inserted, then we can have scan command or get command. So what is the difference between the scan and get command? So if I want to do just scan and table, okay. So scan is showing like a full data, right? It is showing the, okay, only 3 rows. Okay, person data. I think one row is not writing data, professional data. Okay, so this scan is basically showing the data. Okay, but if I want to get a specific row ID data, so I can use get command. So get, then I can give in the single quote row ID, right? So I will get for this row ID, what are the column families and columns data is there. So you can see, actually I have inserted one column family is 2 column and the second column family 1 column. Okay, so I'm able to see by row ID. So if you say EMP2, so only EMP second row ID data you will get. But if you give only get you give EMP, so what will happen in this case? It is not allowing, because get is always expecting at least row ID. Because if you give row ID, it's kind of where clause. You can say row ID, you are giving where ID equal to 1, right? So similar way you are giving here. But scan is allowing only table, but get is not allowing. So get is always bringing the specific row ID or column family data. Suppose you say, I want to get one particular row ID, okay, and particular column family data. Okay, so I don't want the professional data column family. I want only personal data column family. So you can specify after the column family, and even specific column data also you can get it. So if I say here, I want to get a specific column family, so comma, you can give the personal data like this. So get is more specific to your specific row ID, specific column family, or a specific column of the column family. Okay. So you can select which level of data you want, right? So it is very, very specific data. If you see here, if I'm doing personal data, so only personal data is coming, right? If personal data also, if I say the particular column, so I will get the particular column data. I think column we have to give. So we can get the particular column data. So get is, you always remember when you want to specific column family data. So can you see here a specific column family, column families, column data you are getting, right? And specific row ID data. So if you remove it, so that level of data you will get it. If you remove the column, you will get all columns of the column family. If you remove column family, you will get the data for all row IDs for all column family. And but at least one row ID you have to give. Okay. And scan is no matter how many record you have, it will be showing all the column family, all the columns, entire table. It's just like a select star from table, and get is like a select star from table where clause. Okay. So you can use where clause for ID or your column family or column in the column family. Okay. So this is the main difference between the scan and get. Okay. So read data, I already told you. Create data, already told you. Update data is again we use put command only. So how it will identify whether the data is a new or old. So it will be checking if the column and column family already exists. So it will be updating the record. If I'm saying here this put command and I'm changing for the row ID, for row ID 1. Okay, personal data, column family, the city column, I'm going to change. Okay. Maybe right now, what is the city there? This city. Okay. I want to update it. Okay. So again, I'm using a put command. If it is not there, it will insert. If it is there, it will update. Okay. But it can maintain the version also. Like you can keep the 3 copy default version, like up to three copies it will maintain. Okay. So you have to enable the version, then only it will show you the version copy. Okay. Now I'm going to do again scan. Okay. So can you see here the data is updated, but your old data you are not able to see because you have not enabled the version. So once you enable the version, so there is a command for enable version in the hbase, then you can see your old copies also, but up to 3 level. Okay, that is also configurable. We have to check like how many max version we can do, but it is possible. Okay, but right now it has updated the existing one. But if you are giving us some new column and new value, it will be inserted. Okay, so it's a schema less, right? It's a schema dynamic schema, right? So you can insert any data, any column family, any column you can insert or update. Okay, you can do. Okay, so next thing is in the hbases, this is update thing, right? So same thing we can do with the programmatic approach also. Like everything, whatever we can do, creating a table, enabling a table, disabling a table, all these things you can do with the programmatic way. Programmatic way, there is a hbase admin API is there. This hbase admin API is some Java project. You have to same like SDFS Java API, right? You have Hadoop, like a client jar you use, right? So similar way, hbase client jar you have to use for Java project, and then you can create a hbase configuration and then htable, and then you can write the data, right? And then you can put the data. So this is the entire program. So this is the program, okay? Like you can create a table object, and then you can create a put class instance row ID, and then you can add the data like for the column family, and these are the column data like this. And then you can do the put to write the data. So data will be updating. So this is a programmatic approach. Okay, so for this, we have to configure the Java project. Okay, first we concentrate on the other command. So let me go to disabling table or enabling table. So these are very simple command. Disable EMP, your table will become disabled. If I try to drop command, drop EMP, so it will be giving me error. Disable it first. Without disabling, you cannot drop the table. You cannot drop the table, right? You cannot drop the table with the data. So disable command is there, disable EMP. So that will make it table disable. Okay, it's very short command. This is just for information purpose, right? This will tell you the information whether the table is disabled or not. Okay, you will get the confirmation, right? So disable command will disable the table, and there is a command is underscore disable that will check your table is disabled or not. So it will return true or false. If your table is disabled, it will return the true. So there is a command is disable. So is disabled command will be giving you the information true or false. If you give the disable all, some regular expression you say, okay, so that the tables all are starting with RAJ or starting with the R letter. So all the tables you want to disable, or programmatic API you want to do, you can use this. This is disabled table. Is table disabled method is there. You can call it. Okay. So it is slow or what? I will find something like this logger info, right? Message should not come because it is taking too much time, right? Coming these info messages unnecessary. Like for every command, like it's taking too many messages. Okay, so No, this connection got lost. Is disabled. Okay, so you guys try. I just go through the commands. Okay, these are easy commands. You can quickly try. Okay, so I'm going through the commands once. Okay. Okay. So here is the we have covered. Okay. So count and truncate command. Okay. So count command is giving you the count and table. It will be giving you the number of record. Okay. How many record you have. It's just like a select count star from table. Truncate table is you have to it will disable first and then it will do the truncate. So truncate you don't need to make table disable. It will be doing disable and truncate the table. But truncate data will not be get back. Okay, you already know truncate and drop. So delete, truncate and delete. Okay, so deleting data, like you can get back your record if you have removed it, you delete it. But in case of truncate, you can't get back. Okay, but truncate can disable the table and truncate the table. Okay, disable and truncate. Okay, and the scan command I already covered. Okay, delete it. So if you want to delete, right up now, which label you want to delete? Same like a get. Okay, if you want to delete a particular column family, you want to row ID or particular column in the column family. Okay, so if you give delete all EMP1 means all the column family data will be deleted for particular employee table only for row ID one. If you want to delete like you say entire table, okay, so delete EMP, okay, and I think delete EMP will work or not. So here is a delete all command where we're deleting all the cell of the row one. Okay, so all the column families data you want to delete, so you can use the delete all, then row ID you can give. But delete command is deleting, like if you want to entire data of the table, like only delete EMP. It will not work because it is delete EMP expected. Okay, so delete, you cannot delete the EMP. You have to use in that case truncate command. Okay, entire table data you want to delete. So delete same like a scan is on for whole, same like a truncate for the whole. Okay, the entire table. But get, like you can go for a specific row ID and specific row key, specific column family. Same delete can be used for specific row ID and column family. Row ID you can say EMP1. So only particular row ID. If you want to delete a specific column family column, so you can use the column family and give the column. So in that case, it will delete a specific column family data. Okay. So this is the command you can try for the delete. Okay. Read data, scan or get command we already seen. Okay. Update command we have seen the already put command. Again, you write a put command for existing row. So it will update the existing data. Okay. So we can use put. Create data, we can insert the new data by using the put command or add, right? So we can use the put command to add new rows. You can insert the data. Okay. Other than that, drop a table. For drop a table, you have to disable table first because it will not manually drop. And drop all means like you can use some regular expression, regex you can use to drop the table. If you want to check whether the table exists or not exists, so exist command is there. You can check whether table exists or not exists. So it will say table emp does not exist. Okay. And same thing like you want to do programmatic way. So programmatic way, you have to create a configuration object and hbase admin class object, and then you can call the method table exist. Okay. Same like a Hadoop HDFS API program you created. Similar way, we are going to connect hbase through Java API and then doing the manipulation at the table. Okay. And if you want to describe the schema, right, you want to see the schema of the table, so describe EMP. So you can see the describe, and then you can see what are the column family is there. So it is telling you the column family name, personal data. You have more than one column family, so it will be telling you what are the column families are there, what are the columns are there in the column family. Okay. So you can get all those information using the schema command, describe command. Alter command, you can change the column, right? Changing the maximum number of cell of a column family. For example, maximum number of cell is says to 5. So version thing I already told you. How many maximum version you want to keep it? You can keep it version, right? You have to use version. Okay. And other thing is like you want to make it some read only type. So if you say some read only, you want to make it data, right? Nobody can update. So there is a alter table read only. So this option will make the table read only and nobody can update, not allowed. Okay. So it is all basically role access because there is a security is there. You can have a access grant permission. So if you have been given a permission as a grant user permission, then only you can do. Suppose I say grant this particular table and you have given RWXCA. So RWXCA means represent for read privilege, W for write, X for execute, C for create, and A for admin. And if somebody wants to take the privilege from you, so this is a user basically, so revoke user, and this is a grant user. So if you have been given all this permission, any table you can do. Suppose I have given you read, write permission and execute permission, and create permission is not given. So you can't create a new table. Okay, so this kind of rights can allow you to either create or read or update. So sometimes you have been given only read permission. You can do select command. You can do scan get command only. You cannot write the data. You cannot execute permission. Execute permission means like you are like want to like writing is basically you are adding the data, and executing purpose is like some I can say generally the shell script you have the execute, but there will be some purpose of this execute, right? Represent the execute permission. So you can use the uh, other privileges, you can use it, and C for create. And admin privilege is like you can give someone else to the admin rights. So suppose you are admin, then you can provide the access to other people, right? So that right is a like admin right. Okay. So these permissions are there, then only you can do this alter command or this command you can use. So describe alter command. So read only, removing the table scope operator, this deleting the column family. So you want to delete. So this is alter. So something you are doing change in the structure, that is alter, right? It could be if I say I'm deleting the data, so delete and truncate is there. Okay, but if I'm deleting a column family, that is called alter. Same like alter is there in the RDMS database, like alter add column, alter you can delete column, right? Alter remove column. Okay. So you can have different options. So same like here, alter table delete, you are deleting a particular column family. Okay. So you can do that. And same thing we can do with the Java API, hbase admin API we can do. Suppose I want to add a new column. So I can add the new column, some contact detail. Okay, first you try this command level, enabling a table, disabling a table. Okay, these are very simple. List a table we have seen. Okay, so try it out of this command. Okay, this hbase all shell command. Okay, first install the hbase and then start the shell command to do that. Okay, should I start the Flume or because next class will be Tuesday? Okay, what do you want?
Yeah, just start.
Okay, so Flume already I told about the Flume. Basically, we have to install it. So Flume having a Flume configuration. Okay, so when you have a Flume installation, when you go to the Flume installation directory, there is a conf folder is there. Okay, for every tool.
Arvind, sorry for interrupting. Let's consider I haven't installed anything except Hadoop and only Hadoop I have installed. And can I install Hadoop and Hive? I think these two. Can I
See,
install Flume and get started?
yeah. See, for Flume or everything, the main like a Hadoop is installed, right? Because Hadoop is a core component, right?
Okay.
SDFS and even MapReduce also, but needed. But Hadoop is installed, so automatically SDFS MapReduce will come automatically, right? Okay. So once your Hadoop is installed, you can install anything, either hbase or sqoop or Flume, anything you can do, or
Okay.
Hive.
There is no order. Like if I
No
in
order, no order.
okay.
See, only Hadoop should be mandatory for all ecosystem component. Okay. Okay. So Hive, Scoop, HBase, Plume all have the dependency of Hadoop. That's only
Okay.
thing. So you
Okay.
can even directly start the Flume also. Okay. You have seen whenever you are installing Flume, it needs some directories need to create it. Okay. And it needs a Hadoop configuration. Okay. So Hadoop configuration is the, because without Hadoop service running, you cannot run the Flume. You cannot run the Scoop. You cannot run the HBase. Anything cannot be run. Okay. You cannot run. So it will be saying connection refused. Okay. So
Yeah.
Hadoop
Understood.
service is running first. Even when you are doing practice of the Flume, your Hadoop service should be running. If your Hadoop service is running, like you check JPS command and verify your all 5 services are running. If your all 5 services are running, these two, and this second name node. So these all 5 are running, then you can run anything. Okay, now if
Okay.
I check flume-ng, so my flume-ng command, I can write the configuration for Flume. Okay, so Flume, the first thing is you have to download this Apache Flume yesterday I showed, and extract this Flume, and then keep it in a software folder and set in the bash rc Flume home and bin path. Okay, once your Flume home bin path is set, so if you check in my software directory, I'll show you. So there is a conf folder is there. Flume is very easy. There is even no command like we have to write a scoop import kind of command, just flume ng command, which is reading some configuration file. So everything is defined in the configuration file what you want to do. I told you Flume is also ingestion tool, same like a scoop. The difference is the Flume is doing ingestion for unstructured and semi-structured data, right? So suppose I say I have some file in my local file system and I want to bring into Hadoop file system. So you will say that I have already Hadoop FS put command is there. So why we go for Flume? Flume is doing the same thing, right? But the advantage with the Flume is, okay, so I want to do more number of files, like same programmatic approach when you use, you will get the automation, right? So automation kind of things you can do. Okay. So easy way is Hadoop FS put command only, but Hadoop FS put command is one file at a time, right? You want to do multiple files, so you have to write the shell script, or you have to But Flume
So
is
Arvind,
basically
yesterday you said like Flume is for unstructured data, right? Unstructured and
and
semi-structured.
semi-structured, like some
Yeah, but you
files.
said nowadays we are not using the Flume. So
Mm.
so what we are using now, like Spark instead of
See,
Flume?
Spark, like for semi-structured data, we can write the data anywhere, right? Spark can do for all type of data, right? We can
So
read
instead of Flume, what we are using?
Flume, we can use Spark, right? Spark, but Spark, see, Flume, we can do just ingestion. But if you want to do some manipulation on data, transformation on data, it is possible, but we have to write some interceptor, some custom interceptor code we have to write in Java. Okay. So Hadoop component, the problem is if you want to do some more configuration programmatic approach, we have to use Java API. Or other alternate for Flume is like we can use Spark. Okay, but Spark and Flume integration also there. Okay, see, we cannot completely ignore, okay, Flume is no use. Okay, Flume has like sometimes like a quick ingestion I want to do, right? So I can go for Spark, right? Because Spark is much faster and quick ingestion. Okay, if I want to do quick ingestion, I can directly do with the Flume, because Spark I have to write a program, I have to submit a job, and then I have to monitor the job, control the job, right? So those are many issues are there. But if I want to write some reusable things every day, I have to do the same process. Then instead of using the flume ng command, I will use the Spark. Okay, so I need to see the same thing I told for the sqoop, right? Spark can do the same job what sqoop can do, right? The reading the MySQL data in Spark you can read, and you can write anywhere in Hadoop file system. You can write in the Hive, you can write in the Spark. I will show you how Spark can do. Okay, what sqoop can do, everything can be done by the Spark. What Flume can do, Spark can do. But we cannot say these tools are completely removed, right? Because if Spark can do, because Spark has its own like we can say it's time consuming, right? Because you have to write a program, you have to create a jar, or you have to submit a job, right? And those, but quick thing if I want to do, I can do with the sqoop, right? Just hardly one single sqoop import command can do your import. But if I say if I want to do transformation also on the data, then there is no choice, right? Then Spark is the best, okay? Because we have the option to transform the data as well, okay? So is nothing is like that's the reason we have to study everything. We cannot know what company can use and company. So still Flume is not outdated. Okay, Flume is still used, right? Because it's a part of Hadoop ecosystem component. Okay, so like Pig is outdated. Why Pig is outdated? Because nobody using Pig is now, after even the Yahoo, this has not released a new version of Pig after 2017. So 2017 was the last version of Pig came. That was Pig release. Okay. If you see the Pig release, you can find here what was the last release. Can you see here what is the last release? 19 June 2017 was the last 0.7. So it means it is not completely gone, right? If you go to Yahoo and you are getting a job in Yahoo, you have to work on Pig, because this is their proprietary tool. They have started a Pig. Pig they have created. Okay. So Yahoo created Pig. So still they are using Pig. So Pig is using the Pig Latin script. So it is little lengthy code than the Spark, right? And it is using its own ETL code programming. Okay. So, but as market wise, nobody is using except Yahoo. Okay. I will say out of 10, only one is using like this. Okay. So who will go and study this Pig, right? If somebody has interest, can learn Pig, okay, but he will not get any benefit. So some of the tools, if we see Flume release, okay, we can easily find, right, what is the latest is there, what is the last release version came. This 1.11.0, see, this is still new, right? You cannot say it is 2022. So this is not old, like last 1 year, nothing came. Okay, 1.11 is the last. See 1.2.0 in the 2012. So 2012 it started, but it progress is little slow, right? But still 1.11 version is there. That is last 2022, right? So it's still in the their market, right? Because not like pig, like it is completely stopped. Okay. So some project of the Apache, they are not doing any progress, okay, because they have completely stopped. Okay. But some projects of the Apache, like Flume is there. So Flume is still. So you can see any tool, right? Okay, Sqoop you will see. So Sqoop is also not very latest Sqoop, because that is also 1.4.7. That is pretty old one. See, the project has retired, and this is so they said, but it's still company going to use because it's a good option, right? Because it is still they have the version is there. This 1.4.7, and this version when it came, this version came. You have to check with the archive. Okay, so we can find it like what are the versions, but Sqoop is still used by the company because this is the better tool, right? Okay, because we can do the mostly we are working with the SQL DBs, right? And SQL DBs when we are working, so we have to bring the data into Hadoop file system. Okay, so if we don't use a Sqoop, we can use Spark, right? Spark can do the ingestion, right? Okay. So I was showing you the configuration file. Here in the Flume, what we do, we create a conf file. So in the Flume configuration folder, there are the conf file is there. In this conf file, we have to define source, channel, and sink. Okay. So three component is there in the Flume. One is we have source, channel, and sink. So source is my where the data is from, where the data is coming, from where data is coming. So it can be a local file system, or it can be a Twitter source is there. So I can get the data of Twitter, right? So that is a streaming data. So Twitter data I can read. Okay, or I can have data from the other sources like Kafka, I can get the data. So there are many sources are there. Yesterday I was showing to you, right? Those different source and sink, right? So sink can be also, the main sink is the SDFS sink. So mostly we are working with the SDFS sink, right? We want to get the data, like we want to get the data into the SDFS sync. Okay, but there are the other sync also there, Kafka sync also there. If I'm getting the data from some other source and bringing the data to the Kafka sync, and logger sync is there. Suppose I want to just print the data, so logger sync is there. Okay, I don't want to store the data anywhere. Okay, so these are the sync, and other sync also Avro sync is there. Like if I want to get the Avro type of files, so Avro sync is there. So Avro, you already know, it's a row oriented file. Okay, the data is schema based Avro sync. So these are the different sync type is there. If I say medium, right, there is a channel. So channel is there, the different types of channels are there. So mostly are the two channel, file channel and memory channel. File channel means like data is transferred through the file, and memory channel is the data is transferred through the memory. Okay. So memory channel obviously will be faster because it will not be doing in any input output into the file. It will be directly doing through memory. Okay. And the third channel is also there, but that channel is for SQL DB. That is a JDBC channel. So if you have the data in your SQL DB, you can use JDBC channel. Okay, so JDBC channel will be used for SQL DB's data transfer, but we don't use that because we have already good option. We have already good option for the sqoop. Okay, so these are the three channels are there. So mostly we use file or memory channel. Okay, so when I'm going to write any configuration file, so first of all, I define what is my source, what is my sink, and what is my channel. So I'm giving us some name for my sink, some name I'm giving for my source, and some name I'm giving for my channel. And for this particular channel, source, and sink, I'm defining my configuration properties. So this configuration property, suppose if I talk about this source properties. So what is the property name? Agent one is the wrapper, because the source, channel, and sink, these all are part of my agent. So agent is basically a wrapper on top of the source, channel, sink in my Flume, right? Which is like I can say when the data is coming from the external source and going to the other sink, right? So it is basically agent is a mediator. Okay, so agent is a mediator basically. So when I'm defining here, the source type is my spool dir. Spool dir is for generally we use for data transfer from the local file system to Hadoop file system, like put command. Okay, so for that it is called spool dir. So that is a name, right? Okay, we don't need to confuse it. Like source type is a spool dir, and spool dir directory from where I want to transfer my file, I'm giving my local file system file. And the false is like it is like I'm not having any header. And after once the data transfer is completed, so my file extension will become dot completed. Suppose I have a 5 files in my local file system directory. So every file extension will become completed when the file is transferred to the Hadoop file system. So now sink type is Hadoop file system sink. And what is the path of your SDFS where you want to write the data? So generally you use Hadoop FS put command, you give the source path and target path. But the same thing we are going to define here by the properties, configuration properties. Okay. And once we are defining all this source, channel, sink, now I'm making it associate like agent one dot sources dot source one dot channel is a channel name. And agent one dot sync dot SDFS sync dot channel name is channel. So it is like joining the pipeline. So you have three component, source, channel, sync, and you are making a pipeline join, right? You have to join the pipeline, otherwise your data will not be flow, right? So this is the two lines which is joining your three component. Okay. So you are making it join by which one? Channel, because channel is an intermediate component between the source and sink. So initially source is giving the data to the channel and the sink is receiving the data from the channel, right? So once this file is ready, just simply you have to run flumeng command for this file and your data will start flowing from your source to sink. So this is the one example in the Flume. Okay, I will give you this file. So this kind of examples are 4-5 examples are there. Like suppose I want to get the data from the Twitter. So Twitter, when you want to get, so this is a source is a Twitter type. Okay, but sync is the same. So it is always not there, right? Sources can be changed, but sync can be same, right? Because ultimate target of your data is to write into the Hadoop file system, right? So your sync properties will be same type, but here your source type is changed. Previously you are using source type is spool dir. Now you are using the source type is a Twitter source, right? But if you see here, the agent name, whatever agent name you want to create, it should be same as it is everywhere. It is just your anything you can give agent name. Suppose I give here agent name is a agent one. So everywhere you use agent one, agent one, agent one. And the flumeng command, you will use the same one. Okay. In the flumeng command, you will use same. So I will show you how the flumeng command look like. So if you see here, so suppose this is my flumeng command. So flumeng command, you give the agent, and this is the default property you give, and conf is conf file name, and agent is whatever agent you define in the configuration file, keep it the same agent name. Otherwise, it will not be able to run your Flume configuration. Okay. So for every configuration file, you have to define some agent. So the agent is matching here, right? Okay. So if I want to run the spool dir example, okay. So I'm showing you one example, okay, because this is not taking more than 20 minutes. So I will run all the one later, but I will show you one today, okay, so that you can understand and you can try it your own. Only Twitter one has the problem because Twitter one is like we need to request Twitter to some for getting access, right? For because we need some access key, secret key, all this one. This one you can get it from the your Twitter account, okay? But ultimately you have to ask for non-commercial purpose, right? You are going to read this data for non-commercial purpose, so it will be allowed, right? So you have to send a request mail to the Twitter, so they will allow you to get the data, okay? So I will show you how we can use in the Twitter account, right? Developer account, the Twitter developer. So Twitter has two. One is a social media Twitter, right? Generally, we see the hashtags. And one is a developer account for the development purpose, right? You want to programmatic way or APIs way, you want to get the data. So that is called developer account, okay? So developer account, everyone has a developer account if they have social media, so they can switch to the developer account. So developer account URL is a little change. If you just write it developer account, Twitter, developer account, Twitter. So you will get the login or the up. This is not apply. Actually, they have put it more restrictions. See, I directly logged into the my Twitter developer account. The developer portal is there. So here you can find all the keys are there. So you have to create a one project app, and then you have to set your access key, secret key, all these things you have to do. Okay. So this is for developer account. Okay. When you do twitter.com, it will be social media account. Okay. So here in the Flume, so this is my spool dir. So I'm taking this command. Okay. So first, before that, I have to go to in this Twitter, in this one spool dir conf. What is my target directory? Okay. Just I'm creating a new target dir. And here I'm giving a spool dir one, which has my all files are there. So just I'm copying two files. Okay. And I go to the spool dir one. URST spool dir one. This is the directory. So already last time files are completed. Okay, I paste it the new file. Just I'm removing these files. Okay, these two files are there, and now I'm running my flumeng command. Okay, so flumeng command I will copy, and this command you have to run in the configuration folder. So I will go to cd. If you are running outside the configuration folder, so you have to give the complete path. Okay. Software, then Apache Flume. So except Twitter, you can run other examples because other examples are the straightforward. Apache Flume and conf. If anybody gets a difficulty for running any application of the Flume, so you can check the other classroom videos. So I have already described it. Same examples, but I have already run it. So here. What is the error? Okay, something is happening. Can you see? It is keep running, keep running. If you even put the new file, so this is completed. Okay, this one is not completed, but these two are completed, right? These two completed. So suppose my flume is, I copy the one more file. I copy these two files, and now my flume is keep running, right? I'm just pasting it. Can you see? It is so quickly is doing. If I copy, see, I'm copy pasting. Okay, so Flume is keep running. It's like a streaming tool, like a Spark is a streaming, right? So it is streaming, right? So if I check now folder, it is not done yet. Okay, let me see. What is the directory I created? So I want to check the data. So I will check what is my target location. So what target location I have? So I have Flume 1, 2 directory. I created a spool dir there. So Hadoop. So I can see here, this is the file is created, right? Renaming file to this. So I can check the data here. Okay. So I will do Hadoop fscat command to check the data. I have to do slash before that because every directory is starting with the slash. Okay, so this is the content in the file. Okay, but this is difficult to find out which file this content, because how many files you are doing, it will be sequentially will be typing the content. So this is the content in the file game. Okay, so you will get the files in the your Hadoop directory, whatever path you given here. So if I give in spool dir2, so in this spool dir2 you will get the file. Okay, so there are other configuration files are there. Check that. Okay, so one is spool dir is there. One is like a sequence number generator is there. Okay, and one is for netcat is there. So netcat is one is there, and one is a tutor one, and one is a, like you can run any command you run, right? Tail command. So you will see the content of the file in Hadoop file system. So this command are you can normally do, but this is we are trying to do same alternate with the Flume. Okay, and you can follow the tutorial point. So tutorial point has Flume, the same examples you can see here. Tutorial point Flume. So all these examples, whatever I'm explaining to you, this fetching tutor, netcat, and generator source like sequence number you want to generate. Okay, and the other one is a spool dir. So all this one are there. Okay, all the examples are taken here. Okay, so you can see the different examples. Actually, here is spool dir one. data transfer. Export type, export data. I think they removed that example. So 1, 2, 3, actually 2 more examples are also there, but it is not showing. Okay, I have another class. Okay, so just check this one. Okay, you will find it. Okay, yeah. Thank you.